right, hello everyone. We're gonna start. Hello everyone in the room. Nice to see you all here today. We are going to be starting this Resist to Matchmaking event. And to begin with, I would like Bruno Grandjean, General Director of the Cluster Pôle Véhicules du Futur, to give us an introduction word.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So on behalf of Pôle Véhicules du Futur and on the Resist Consortium, I welcome you all here in Mulhouse in this beautiful room, but also you all via Teams. We have a number of registered companies. We have 57 registered companies, so it will be a great event. We have matchmaking sessions after this speech, and you still can register to this matchmaking session. It's a good opportunity for you to discuss with fellow companies and discover some collaboration opportunities. So Resist 2 is a European project, and Patricia, who is leader of this consortium, is going to tell you all about this project. So I will not lose more time, and please, Patricia, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being today in this first matchmaking event of the Resist project, where my name is Patricia Solá. I work for CEAGA, that is the Galician Automotive and Mobility Cluster, and we are the coordinators of this Eurocluster initiative. So I'm gonna make a brief introduction to the project so you can know a little bit what we plan to do, okay? Well, the Resist initiative is one of the 16 European initiatives selected in the Eurocluster second open call. And the project started in October 25, and it has 3 years of duration, okay? And is mainly focused in the mobility, transport, and automotive ecosystem, okay? You can see on the right the 6 partners that there are in the consortium. We are 6 partners from 5 countries, Spain, France, Czech Republic, Poland, and Ukraine. What is our main objective is to support SMEs in their green and digital transition, and also to help them to be more resilient in the current situation that is facing our sector and our ecosystem. And another thing is that we have to be very focused in the net zero technology and critical raw materials, because this is one of the priorities of the European Commission. To help our SMEs, one of the main actions we have is to launch cascade funding for SMEs, and we have 1.6 million euros of funding to support all of you, okay? Well, as I told you, our focus is, our project is focused in the strand 1, that is net zero technologies and critical raw materials. There are 2 industrial acts that were launched by the European Commission to work on this, and what they expect the European Commission from us is to support and to cover value chains in these 2 fields, okay? Ensuring the access to a secure and sustainable supply of net zero technologies, including by scaling up the manufacturing capacity of net zero technologies and safeguarding supply chain resilience. You can see on the right some examples of net zero technologies, but it's not an exhaustive list. And another thing that we should help through our project Resist is related to critical raw material, and we must cover value chains, how starting or expanding the extraction, processing, or recycling of strategic raw materials, or the production and scale-up of materials that can substitute these strategic materials, okay? So you can also see on the right some, well, a list of what the European Commission consider as strategic raw materials. So what can we offer to SMEs? Okay, we have here in this slide the main benefits for you if you get involved in the project. Okay, well, at the beginning of the project, we have the early guidance. The main idea is to engage SMEs interested in the project. So we launch a call for the expression of interest to see if which SMEs from our ecosystem were interested in the project. And the main idea is to offer a resilience check, carry out individual assessments, and also help them with roadmap designs. And while this was launched, there was a lot of interest, and 30 SMEs were selected to receive this support. And they are being supported by us, and they will receive this early guide support until September this year. Okay, the main idea is to help them to identify project ideas for the open calls. Another service that we can offer is networking. Networking is very important because we can provide information that can be of interest for you. We can also organize matchmaking events as this that we have today to help you find partners or explore collaboration opportunities with other organizations. And also, well, the most important thing is the cascade funding, of course. We have two kinds of open calls, both related to innovation, and one is for product innovation and another one for process innovation. We have already launched the call, the first cutoff this year in May. And well, my colleague David will explain you all the conditions to apply to it. And but we will launch another call in next year. So if you don't have time to apply this year, don't worry, because you will have time to prepare. You will have another opportunity to apply. And all the services you can see on the right of the cascade funding are services that we want to offer to the beneficiaries of the open calls as a complementary support, okay? And we will include technological services, coaching and mentoring, that is the access to a catalog of experts to support your projects. Also, we will provide opportunities to get into new markets in third countries, and also training programs. So this is what we can offer to you. And this is, well, so you can see the SMEs journey. So as I told you, we started in December 2025 with a call for expression of interest. Now in March, well, from January to September, the individual assessments were carried out, and we continue having meetings with these companies to identify the right projects to apply to the open calls. We will also have the networking activities. And as I told you, the first call was launched, and another one is planned next year. So, and the implementation of projects will be during a period of 9 months, okay? And that's all from my side as a brief introduction of the project. You have here our main communication channels. You have the website. We are in LinkedIn, in X, also in YouTube. So don't hesitate to follow us to be up to date about all the latest news about our project and to take advantage of all the opportunities we have for you. Okay. So thank you very much for your attention, and I leave the floor to David.
Thank you, Patricia. Yes, my name is David Richard-Molard. I work at the Pôle Véhicule du Futur as a European project manager, and I manage the activities of the Pôle regarding Resist2. And my aim today is to show to the present SMEs online and to you here that finding funding opportunities for SMEs is possible and maybe easier than one might think. So Innovation funding exists for SMEs, and you are not expected to do it alone. Usually SMEs might think they're too small, the European projects are too complex, they don't know where to start, and think that only big companies can get funding. And yet, in reality, I believe SME-focused opportunities exist, small projects are possible. To help yourself, maybe you should start progressively. And an important point for today as well, clusters can help. Indeed, a first simpler access to European funding for SMEs are cascade funding or financial support to third parties. Those are a simple entry point for startups and SMEs into European funding. They allow usually smaller grants than the other big European programs, allow for shorter projects, have easier and faster evaluation and selection systems, and a lighter administrative paperwork. So it is less scary than big European programs and a beautiful place to start for SMEs. Cascade funding covers various topics, as you can see on screen. And just as RESIST covers digitalization, sustainability and decarbonization, industrial and process improvements, enhance the development of new products and innovation, enhance the quality of our supply chains and their resilience, allow for internationalization opportunities oftentimes, give access or help develop skills and trainings opportunities, and have collaborative innovation projects as a main principle and interest. If car bikes did it, other SMEs can do it. Car bikes is SME that participated to the previous RESIST program with their innovative electric cargo bike, as you can see on screen. The founders, Lucas Vanson on the left in the picture and Gaël Richard, developed this solution in Strasbourg, which was an electric cargo bike that is very flexible. You can use in various sectors and situations, whether it is for your own leisure or for companies to transport products inside of lesser accessible places, such as the inside of the cities. So perfect also for the last kilometer deliveries. They were supported through the previous RESIST program. So we helped them develop their solar-powered charging version of their electric bike that improved battery autonomy and their energy efficiency. They had access to networking and European opportunities such as we have today. And thanks to the support and project guidance offered by the clusters surrounding the RESIST program, they were able to accelerate the development of their products. If they can do it, you can do it as well. And RESIST allowed to create from small innovation projects a very concrete business and product and collaboration opportunities. European projects don't always start with a €1 million horizon project. Sometimes it starts with smaller projects. So where to start? Often the funding itself is not necessarily the biggest issue for SMEs. Ask yourself where to start. They ask themselves, is their idea mature enough? Which funding fits their projects? How do they find partners? How do they structure a proposal? I want to say to you, you do not have to answer these questions alone. Indeed, I believe, as I'm working in a cluster for automotive, I believe the clusters matter and can help you navigate those questions. You don't have to navigate them alone. The clusters, it is their role, whether a mission from the state or from the territories and the regions they work in, but it is their role to help you structure your projects, labelize projects maybe, find funding opportunities if that's what you want, find European partners, build a consortium with the access of oftentimes their networks of SMEs, consortium being a group of partners collaborating on a project, strengthen your project maturity, and help you connect with experts. In that sense, the 6 clusters, or rather the 5 clusters and the 1 Automotive Technology Center of Galicia in Europe from Poland, Ukraine, Czechia, and Spain and France are here exactly for this, whether today during the B2B sessions, whether afterwards, if you want to contact them, I will show you the links. And it would be their pleasure to help you find opportunities. So let's focus about Resist 2 a little bit, just as Patricia already introduced. The Resist 2 open calls support European SMEs developing their products, services, enhancing industrial processes to strengthen their resilience, competitiveness, and the sustainability of their products or processes. Through product and process innovation projects, we want to help SMEs become more digital, resource efficient, environmentally sustainable, and resilient. Those are our 4 key pillars, so our 4 thematics that matter the most inside of Resist 2. Noticeably, and Patricia also already said about this, net zero manufacturing, so decarbonization, as well as circular economy, or enhancing our value chains and making sure we enhance the situations for critical raw materials and resource efficiency as targeted by the European Union. We also want to help you digitalize and make your industrial system smarter and help the value chain become more resilient. Here on the screen, you have a few examples of what they all could mean. Noticeably, to lower carbon footprint, we could finance more efficient more energy efficient manufacturing processes, renew your machinery with electric drivetrain components, develop hydrogen solutions for mobility. In terms of critical raw materials, maybe design a better way to recycle vehicle components, create products that are more critical raw materials efficient, enhance the life of batteries. In terms of digitalization, we would support digital twins for manufacturing systems, AI-based process innovations, and digital product passports, for instance. And in terms of resilient mobility value chains, we want to enhance the traceability of critical raw materials, fund adaptive logistic systems, and help you diversify your suppliers. We offer a cascade funding, as I said. We also offer, on top of the funding, a few, rather a big catalog of technological services, and that my partner Raúl from CTAG will present later on. We propose coaching and mentoring. We want to help you access easier towards international partners outside of Europe, and give you possibilities for trainings to upskill and reskill and enhance your knowledge regarding certain topics identified inside of Resist 2 and identified with the help of our contact to the SMEs and with the help of the resilience check, the document that SMEs will have to fill if they want to apply for Resist 2. That helps us know their needs better. So who can apply? Eligible candidates are small and medium enterprises, startups as well. Considering the European Commission, we put the link up here because the definition of SMEs might diverge between countries. There is a tool to just click and you can check if your SME counts as an SME on European level. You have to be headquartered on EU territory or on a single market program associated country. Here again, you can find what those countries are on the link inscripted on the screen. The PowerPoint we will share to all after the event. The SME has to be operating in the mobility, transport, and automotive ecosystem. To prove this, you should you should inform during your application of your CNAE code, so the code that defines in which activity you are working. And if you don't have a relevant code to prove your place inside of the mobility, transport, and automotive ecosystem, you could prove your links to the ecosystem through being partner to be member, of a cluster for the automotive or mobility and transport. This can help you prove your access to the sectors of mobility, transport, and automotive, knowing that a lot of companies don't have direct link with the systems. I'm thinking about digital solutions, for instance. The Resist 2 calls present as such. We have indeed an open call that started now and will be continuous until July 13th. And we will do it again next year. So next year, if you don't have the availability to participate this year, you can always try again next year, get in contact with us before to prepare yourself. SMEs are strongly encouraged to work together. And so SMEs can apply individually or as a consortium. But a consortium will enable SMEs to receive a little bit more funding. But on the next slide, I will say it again. But if you, as an SME, apply to our projects, you can get up to 20,000 euros funding from Resist 2. And if you apply as a consortium, so with other SMEs as partners, you can receive up to 30,000 for each SME, which can give place to much bigger projects. Projects should be practical, understandable, easy to execute, and therefore be able to be implemented in a 9 months period. We will start the implementation of project this year from October, and it will finish towards June 27, where we will also launch the next open call. Resist 2 partners, so us and the clusters present, we will provide support during the implementation, have follow-up meetings with you, and accompany SMEs in their Resist 2 journey. Beneficiaries, once they get the funding and implement the projects, have a tiny bit of conditions and obligations. Noticeably, they should give us a midterm and a final report for us to be able to evaluate the quality of the project during and at closing of the projects. And finally, beneficiaries should participate, to at least the final showcase event, where at least one partner per project funded under Resist 2 should participate, which is an obligation, but also an opportunity, since it's also in those showcase events that you can find partners, again, to collaborate with. Timeline presents as such. So May 13th to July 13th is for applications this year. We will employ independent experts to evaluate primarily the proposals and give us an evaluation that is independent of the Resist 2 Eurocluster, so as to make sure there is no conflict of interest and we can be as fair as possible. The selection ultimately will be done after the preliminary selection and evaluation by the independent experts. The selection ultimately will be done by the Resist 2 consortium, reviewing the evaluations given by the evaluators. And finally, in October this year, we would like to implement the up to 9 months projects. So our aim is to, in the first cutoff, distribute amongst the projects and amongst the 2 open calls, process innovation and product innovation, 800,000 euros. We would like to have 15 to 20 projects supported and around 25 to 30 SMEs funded. During a project, you would get 20% of the grant at beginning of the project, 30% of the grants at midterm report, and 30% of the grant after approving the final project report, as well as giving you the 10% remaining to make sure that you come to our last showcase event, present your projects, and receive the complete budget you applied for. So as I said before, 20,000 euros for an SME in individual project, 30,000 euros for SMEs in a consortium project, so collaborative projects. And we are asking for SMEs to have a 10% co-financing rate, so that they bring 10% of the budget. And finally, SMEs can participate to both open calls, meaning they can get, if they did 2 collaborative projects under the 2 open calls, so product innovation and process innovation, up to 60,000 total financial support. So how do we apply? On the screen, you can see a QR code. This is our electronic submission platform. On this platform, you will have a 10 steps application process, short steps, easy steps, on which you would provide general information on your projects, general information on the partners involved in the projects, explain the relevance of the call of the projects inside of the topics of Resist 2, have a coherent budget, as well as present 1 or 2 milestones or expected results or KPIs that can help make sure a project is implemented in the right way. Finally, SMEs will also have to upload a resilience check, which is the self-assessment tool Patricia already talked about, I talked about a little bit. The resilience check helps companies identify their vulnerabilities. It's really a risk assessment inside of the topics of Resist 2. See if we can identify risks or needs of your company regarding the supplying of the company, the digitalization level of the company, and their use of rare material, and from there, see if we can work on this. A resilience check is also a good starting point to identify on what you could work for an innovation project. And on top of this, you would have to upload a declaration of honor, which is simply a document confirming that you agree and will respect all the conditions under the Resist 2 open calls. The evaluations I was talking about before, the evaluations of the proposals will be carried out by at least 3 independent evaluators under the 4 criteria: level of innovation, environmental and material impact, feasibility of the project, as well as the capacity of the applicant and to implement the project, and the market relevance of the project, meaning if this innovation makes sense or if it's completely out of topic. SMEs have a little bit of obligations, noticeably sign a funding agreement, which again, you just agree and accept the confidentiality, the different conditions inside of Resist 2. Noticeably, there needs to be no conflict of interest. The confidentiality and security is for us to be able to use the information from the projects and make sure we don't leak data that you wouldn't want to be leaked. Ethics and the proposed work plan fixed and now signed to be respected for the implementation of the action. Reporting, as I said, at midterm and at the end of projects. Participate to the showcase events and acknowledge the EU support in all communication activities, such as on this screen you see the co-funded by the European Union. If you are funded, you will also use this flag a lot under your own presentations. No double funding. Resist 2 should be the only funding regarding your innovation project. So you cannot have 2 programs on the same projects under the Resist 2 open calls. And finally, the record-keeping conditions, where Resist2 partners will keep for 5 years the documentation surrounding all the documentation surrounding the projects, whether communication, reports, and so on. This is a necessity for the European Union to be able to do audits and control that everything is going as planned. Now, this is for Resist2. There are other opportunities out there, and if you want to try looking on your own, I would say starting with the European Cluster Collaboration Platform is a great starting point, because from there you will have multiple open calls that present more or less like the Resist2 open calls. They cover a wide variety of topics as well, and are focused solely on SMEs. I have here on the screen, you can see the European Collaboration Platform. You can whether look for with your own keywords and sectors for specific programs, or navigate through the existing presented programs. Noticeably, I put 2 on the screen that could interest you. Mat4EU, which is made to help SMEs enhance their use of materials. And the Scaling Green Innovation with Industry, which is another open call that should help growing green innovations for SMEs. There are more opportunities on this platform, and this is probably the best starting point for SMEs to look for European fundings. Of course, there are other opportunities, and here on the screen I indicated a few other opportunities which are ranked from easiest to hardest, subjectively of course, but from easiest to hardest for SMEs. We have EET urban mobility, which and EET manufacturing, which are two funding programs from the EU made to help SMEs enhance their manufacture and industry solutions. Eurostars, which in the same sense wants to help SMEs innovate, but with the accent on European collaboration. A little bit harder, and then of course there's the Horizon Europe program, very famous European program, which focuses on international R&D and innovation. SMEs can also be part of them, but if you want to join one of those programs, if it is your first European program, the best way to enter is probably to not lead a program, but rather to join a group, join a consortium, and from there you will begin showing to the European Union your existence as an SME inside of European programs. And as soon as you do this, access to European fundings becomes easier and easier, as, so to speak, European institutions trust you more and more, and you have proven your worth already. I want to thank you for your attention on this. If you have questions, I don't know if we have time. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer. You have my contact information on screen top left. You have access to the Resist2 open calls under those links as well. Information you can ask under this email address as well, so info@resisteucluster.eu. And finally, be sure to check our LinkedIn account as well, and to follow for all weekly information on Resist2 to be updated. On the right side, all the links that I had already indicated before, noticeably the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, the other funding opportunities, and as a final link that I put on screen, the Funding and Tenders portal, which I don't recommend if it's your first steps inside of EU projects. It's rather complicated. but it's also a platform you can use to find all programs and to access consortiums. There are the two options. You can look for funding and tenders, but you can also just look for partners to enter European programs. That is all for me. Thank you very much for your attention. And now I would like to give word to a partner from the Center of from the Technologic Center for Automotive of Galicia, Raúl. The floor is yours.
So, good morning to everyone. Good morning, people who is following us online. So, my name is Raúl. I'm part of Research and Knowledge Center of Galicia. We are a private research organization, and we work closely with the industry. And we are part of this amazing project, and with this great team, working and trying to help from the technological point of view and giving the support in order to help you to unblock the technology gaps. So, as Patricia and David has mentioned perfectly, I'm going to present in detail what is expected to offer to those SMEs that will be selected through the different open calls that we have in this year and next year. Okay, well, I'm going to focus on the technological and technical service that, with our strong support, being a technological center, we are sure that we are going to unblock and help to overcome any technical gap, and that the project will establish in the proposal and the idea. Then I will explain the access to a pool of experts that we are creating. We will give some information about training that we are going to offer as a free for those SMEs selected on open call. And for the last point is, but not least important, is action for going international. So the message that I want to give to everyone is that we want to accelerate the innovation journey. We have more than 20 years of expertise doing it daily. So here, as our main contribution is for that. And just to give you a real idea about what we do, we have been one hour meeting, so it's time to see a film. With this video, I want to help me to present our organization, but also you're going to have few figures and key information just to having a very good idea about what we could help you. Later, I will explain several services, but with this video, I think that's going to be much more better. Okay, so I hope that with this video, help to having a very global idea about what are the capabilities of a research and technological center in this such kind of project. And now, with all of these options that you have seen in this video, we have elaborated a pool of service and technical service that we're going to focus for those projects selected. The first one is that all the project with any dependency, any different typology, we are going to elaborate and we're going to help doing a technological assessment. That means that we're going to help the founder, the CTO, to better understand about the trend of the technology that they want to use. We want also to help to better understand also what is the position of this business, the position of this service in the context, in the global context. And we want to help also to identify what is the next steps. This is what we mentioned, individual technical assessment. It's not a report. It's an analysis that we're going to do individually, and then we will meet each team and we will explain and we will try to help and to assist and coach. Okay, important at the end is giving support, giving advice. And it's going to be for all of them. And then we will open a catalog of service based on most of the activity you see in the video. We have a list about options of service that we are going to bring. Okay. After that, if the one company, one project has different need, we could let's say adjust. But at least we're going to offer this pool of catalog based on several services. One of them is product engineering, prototyping, system integration. And then we know that when you want to integrate a system, you need to do some engineering activities. This could be part of integration of component, integration of subcomponents, part of the powertrain, others in the charging system, how to integrate hydrogen solution into an enriched standard solution. So if that's the service number one, the service number two is related mobility, electronic, collaborative ITS. Basically here is for this project willing to boost the use of high technologies for communication, but also for use deep learning technologies, artificial intelligence solution to improve the maneuver of the vehicle. It's necessary to do several tests, several validations, several HMI, and also user experience. This type of activities will be conducted under service number two. What happened with the manufacturing process? What happened with digital twins? What happened to, I want to create this solution to optimize the manufacturing process. It's what we mentioned, digitalization, artificial intelligence, virtual engineering service. Here we have to use SCADA components, combining with cloud computing, combining with artificial intelligence solutions, just to better understand how the process is running and how we could improve. Another service, manufacturing, exoskeletons, robotics components. Which are very, very trending topic in that moment. No, probably will be companies will have provided service or they want to improve the manufacturer process, helping the staff, helping the operators with several components, several services that assist the industrialization. Okay, not single robots. There are others like exoskeletons that is part of this industry 4.0 that is relevant to understand how to be integrated and how to take the best benefit from this technology. Because it's not just to put a robot. No, let's do something that is coherent with my manufacturing process. Another service, help on identifying those critical raw material, how to reduce the waste, but also how to use byproducts, how to design by recycling, not going to the last part of the process. No, try to start thinking about the circularity since the early beginning. When you design a product, when you design a component, you have to think about, because there are a lot of opportunities with the second life. Okay, here the byproduct is relevant. There is a huge market with the byproduct. Byproduct, for those that don't know, which is when you have a manufacturing process, you obtain some elements, some parts that could be plastics, could be some part of the component that you don't use. This is waste. So if you come this and you take it into the value chain, you generate a byproduct with these components. Example, in Vigo, we have a company that from several plastic components that they are wasting when they do the manufacturing process, they sell to a company, and the company take the plastic, and with several process, neutral process, they use this plastic as a material to build banks for the street. It's a business. They take the rest that nobody wants, and they convert and they sell the banks for sitting the people in the street. And you have the add value that is the circularity. Okay, and then the politics open their hands when they say, okay, you are this is circularity. Wow, excellent. No, and they pay more because it's circularity. And you have the level of circularity. So you have to be smart with this. Another service relevant is to help on better improve the traceability. Digital products passport. In the last 5-6 years from ago, there is a lot of trending about this type of digital passport. What happened with to ensure that the process and to ensure that the product is in the correct running. If you maneuver, you change some components, not only the warranty, is the quality of the service, the quality of this product is going to remain. There is a lot of business which is related to this type of digital product password. At the end is to keep traceability of everything. Let's an example. Electric vehicle, you could go to a workshop and they could change some components. You have to ensure that the traceability, if you want to make sure that the vehicle is working perfectly and is running correctly, you need to make sure that you use the right components, the official components. If you want to open to use other second or component, you are free. But if you have to take into account that for insurance company, it's very important, because at the end, if you have an accident, you have to make sure that the problem has been occurred because you changed a component, and that component is not the correct one. So how to demonstrate that you have keep correctly the components, having tools like digital product passport. Okay. And also related digitalization, related cybersecurity. In the current days, in all the manufacturing process, in all the service for mobility, cybersecurity is very important. We have several teams working on different functional safety protocols and normative, that when you want to sell to a customer a solution that could affect the safety, you have to make sure that you are compliant with this normative, because not it's going to be impossible to sell. Okay, and if you go to a large corporate, that is one of the biggest problems, and you try to convince them, hey, trust on me, you have to demonstrate that you covers this normative. And the last, that is for me one of the most important one, linked to the part of that David perfectly presented to you. Part of this technical support also is to help you to understand how your technology could be integrated and how to help you to create a realistic roadmap to develop your technology. Because at the end, so this kind of solution probably is not, you require more than 1 year. So the roadmap is for long-term perspective. Create this long-term perspective. And here, with accessing to European funds, not only is for funding, it's also to improve your technology. The European funds helps companies to improve the technology and helps to make connections. One of the best benefits, apart from the good financial conditions, that's true, as David mentioned, is that when you access in a European project, you are in contact with tier 1, tier 2, with manufacturers, and you have a collaboration agreement that helps to create good connections, that facilitate you to access, because sometimes when you want to test a solution, you need to contact a tier 1, you need to contact a manufacturer, and it's impossible. So how I could reach them? Hey, let's go into a collaborative project and let's generate a synergy. Let's generate a comfortable framework in where you present the project, you present your initiative, and you test and you validate in a specific project that helps you to do this demo free of charge. That's an example, no? And for this element, we want to offer also this opportunity from a technical point of view to help to access to funding for continue the development, the validation. For the European project, it's very important having good connection. In Europe, there are the four logos in the top. There are 4 big partnerships that if you want to be with the industry, you must be here. If you are not here, it's impossible that you do business in European projects. CCCAM is the Connected Automotive Mobility Partnership. All the manufacturers, all the tier 1, tier 2 suppliers trying to boost the business for autonomous vehicles are here. 2.0 electromobility, powertrain, hydrogen powerful here. Robotics, artificial intelligence, ADRA. And the last important also is for new materials, innovative advanced material for Europe. Then we have a second level, that is ERTICO, 5G, InSight, and EPOS. There are technological and industry partnerships that are not linked to European Commission, are private. And here is all the industry. So try to reach them, try to connect with them. ERTICO is linked to everything related with the communication, with the collaborative ETS, traffic management. 5G automotive car is related 5G technology, automotive driving. InSight is the global industry for manufacturers, and EPOS is related with chips. So if you are interested on resins, you may know that's associations at European level. So most of the clusters are linked also in this association, probably as a member, probably as associated, or probably they join because they are in contact with some of them. But they are not limited to this one. There are a pool of more than 10 that is relevant. We are part of this. In that, every year, we keep contact with all the members, and that's the opportunity to start improving your development. We also do that as a research center. We connect with the industry, being part of this. So with the 7.8, we are going to help to do this process, to go closer to the industry and to tell, okay, this is impossible to test in 1 year with the industry. But let's go for a funding, let's go to a European project, because that will be this opportunity, and we generate the opportunity. Because at the end, the OEM, the big company, the corporate, are also here. And it's a good opportunity because you could access to connect with them, to collaborate with them, work with them in a comfortable framework that outside, in private mode, it could be so challenging. Okay? That's about the service that technically we offer from CTAG. Then, apart from that, in the project, we have created a catalog of experts. Recently, we launched this this expression of interest. So we have a form in where experts from Europe, experts that we have connected, all the members of the project, cluster, also ourselves, we are inviting experts that we have from other research, from companies that are not in the open core, and we are applying here just to create this pool of experts. The idea here is to offer with this pool of expert opportunity that to the SMEs who will be selected to contract the service of this expert if you find necessary and relevant, because at the end the idea is that we are going to have a pool of different, as I is here listed, competencies and skills that will be relevant for you. And service will be from consulting, advisory service, helping on product design. So at the end is, as David mentioned, you are not alone. Provide a project idea in the open call and identify what you are missing, because here you are going to have technical support and you are going to have options to contract experts. Okay? Not necessarily you have to complete everything in your project. It's impossible. Nobody is capable to do everything. You have to create a good team and have collaborations. Okay? Another element, training. Okay? We are going to offer also training in a format of mocks, just to help that you could use this training to improve your skill, to reskill your team. And we are working on several ideas. It's not limited this one, but we have in mind six mocks in some topics that will be relevant for the top from the project. The idea is to have in a small mocks of maximum 2 hours, and you obtain a certification just to complement your skills. No, we will continue working with all the semi-selected, and when the company will be selected, we will meet all companies and we will check if those mocks make relevant. If we identify another thematics, we will adjust, but the idea is to have in mind a pool of relevant 6 activities for training. And the last element is also the internationalization of your service, the internationalization of your business. We are right now in an internationalization program. At the end, we are in Europe. At the end, we are connecting different regions, different countries in Europe, but we want to continue expanding the market. And today, the globalization is that, so we have to try to help to identify the correct international market for your business, for your service, for your product. We are going to help making connection. We organize several. We will organize events like with matchmaking events. We will help to connect with chambers of commerce from other countries, just to help in making connection. Depend also on the typology of the product and service. And also we will have to connect with Eurocluster, with the European Enterprise Network that is helping getting business. If the EEN network is very relevant, it's an online service in Europe that every day they publish, I have this business and I'm looking for this partner. Every day. So just you could register to the mailing list, register, and you receive notification. Okay, this company from Poland is looking for someone that will help them on this business, and you create a collaboration to do business. Not only is project, it's also business directly. We will help on promoting internationalization, the solution of the companies. And the last element, at the end, we want to continue this cross collaboration, cross-border collaboration, and cross-sector collaboration, no? Because at the end, mobility is not a single vehicle moving from point A to point B. There is a lot of components that are around the mobility. The same for manufacturing. Manufacturing right now, you need digitalization, you need artificial intelligence, you need big data, cloud computing, you need to make sure about the energy. So everything is connected in cross-sector. So I hope that this information will be relevant for all of you. And any idea, any inquiry, any doubt, I will be here just to, and also online to reply any question. Thank you.